we're going to be taking a look at the wooden box limited edition for The Crow. This is one of my favorite films of 1994, probably one of the best graphic novel adaptations of all time, at least in my opinion. But before we get into looking at the edition that I'm going to showcase today, I want to talk a little bit about the film. So I'm sure most of you have seen this one. Stars Brandon Lee, Michael Wincott as Top Dollar, Tony Todd as Grange, as well as Bai Ling, Michael Massey, Joe Polito, and Ernie Hudson as Officer Albrecht. And let's not forget Chad Stahelski, who was a close personal friend of Brandon Lee's, as well as his stunt double, and he served as a stand-in for the scenes that were due to be completed after the unfortunate death of Brandon Lee. Nowadays, Chad Stahelski is probably best known for his work on the John Wick films. He directed all 4 entries in the franchise. He was also the stunt double for Keanu Reeves in The Matrix for the character Neo. Having a great 30-year-long career, having worked as an actor, a stuntman, a stunt coordinator, a second unit director, and a director. And behind the camera, you have Alex Proyas, who directed the film, Darius Wolski, who was the cinematographer, Alex McDowell, who's the production designer, and Simon Merton, who's the art director. What these guys managed to design for the cityscape in the film is drenched in atmosphere, and it really helps establish the mood and tone of the film. I don't know how anyone couldn't be in awe of the way this film looks, especially considering how low the budget was. I admire their ambition. They just did such a fantastic job, especially with all the mishaps on set. And then, of course, the most tragic thing with Brandon Lee's death, which I won't get into too much. I do know that Alex Proyas wanted to shoot this film in black and white, but the studio kind of shot it down. Would have been a great idea, staying true to the graphic novel, at least the look of it. There were some changes made from graphic novel to screen, but all those changes I was definitely in favor of. Like making Top Dollar the leader and not just another person in the street gang. Michael Wincott is such a commanding presence on screen, and he manages to put over a character that really does shine as the ultimate villain, and having the other 4 gang members sort of follow his lead was perfect. Tony Todd as Grange is great as well, and Joe Polito as Gideon is also fantastic. But I am glad the film got released. I'm sure Brandon Lee would have wanted it that way. He put so much into his performance that it would have been a shame for this film to never see the light of day. Now, when it comes to those changes from novel to screen, I do like the fact that Proyas wanted to take some chances with certain things, like making the Crow an actual bird and not just a spirit that Eric sees. I don't necessarily like the fact that it's a weakness for Eric, but I get what he was going for with it either way. Also, Alex making Eric a musician and having him be in a rock band was really, really cool. Having all these wonderful songs that I know Alex wanted to put in the film. So many great bands and an amazing score as well by Graham Revell. I got to talk about that too. Just phenomenal music there. What a tone setter that the score is. I mean, it adds a whole nother layer to the film. So there's so many wonderful elements. I mean, I could go on and talk about how great it is all day. But with all that aside, let's just dive right into this set. All right, this is the Crow Wooden Box Limited Edition. This was released on October 30th, 2015. It is limited to only 1,500 copies. I gotta say that the craftsmanship on this thing is really, really well done. I do have a few other wooden box sets in my collection, but this is probably one of my favorites. Now, from the back of the set, you get to see a little bit more of the contents that are inside. You get the soundtrack, movie, of course, on Blu-ray and DVD, a little poster, some lobby cards. Let's check this thing out. Now, there's not very much room inside. The Mediabook itself is kind of a unique texture to it. I'm not sure what I'd call this. It's kind of like a leather feel to it. It's really smooth. Definitely not your standard Mediabook. They did sell these separately, but I'm sure they're all out of print, so they're pretty hard to find. If you can find one, I definitely recommend picking it up if you're a Mediabook fan. The back has some pretty cool, iconic, and memorable shots from the movie. Let's check out the inside. One other thing that I did want to point out, the best version of the picture that you'll find when it comes to an HD transfer would be from a Japanese company called Pony Canyon. They released a Blu-ray, and it's sourced from a 4K remaster. So I would recommend seeking that one out for those of you that can't wait for the 4K. I'm sure this will get the 4K treatment at some point in the future, but that's just an FYI for all of you that might be interested. I'm going to try to flip through this thing as quickly as possible. The Crow on the tombstone. Nice behind the scenes production still right there at the bottom with Eric Draven at the top. A few more iconic shots from the movie. This page is really interesting. I wish they had done more of this in the Mediabook, honestly. Don't get me wrong, I love all the images from the film, but something this unique and different would have been really nice to have throughout the entire media book. The last page got a quote from the movie: "Buildings burn, people die, but real love is forever." At the bottom we have the DVD. At the top and behind the DVD we have the motion picture score. I do have the soundtrack, which is right here. For any of you that did collect CD soundtracks back in the day, I still have mine. It's intact. I guess I'll go through this real quick too. I might as well. This one is an absolute favorite from that era. One of my favorite CD soundtracks from the 90s is the booklet. So many great songs in this. Inside the booklet is just a basic track listing and then Eric Draven in the middle. A lot of really cool songs in here. Highly recommend it. Even if you haven't seen the film, you should definitely check the soundtrack out. Anyways, enough about the soundtrack. Let's get back to the wooden box set. These cards are really awesome. Love them. Here's one of them flipped over. And the last one is just trying to show off your limited edition number, and this is 859. Almost forgot about this. This is the poster that's in here. You all have seen this image a million times, but the other side is pretty unique. This is the flip side of the poster. Isn't that just wonderful artwork? That's amazing. Looks really cool. For the very last thing in the set, you might be wondering what's in this little box. Well, let's open it and find out. This is a flashlight keychain. Let's see if it works. So I'm twisting the cap, pulling out this black tab, and look at that, it actually works. So here's an idea of how bright it is. That's pretty bright. It just turns off with this little button on the back right here. And that's it. That's everything that's inside the set. All right, so I hope all of you enjoyed the look at that set. Let me know what you think down in the comments below the video. Do you like this set? Do you own it? Do you like the Crow? Do you like the graphic novel? Don't forget to like the video. If you like this kind of content, there will be more, so stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you all for watching.